Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to you. A very warm welcome to the Transportation and Climate Change Conference brought to you by the Maritime Standard. As you just heard, my name's David Eades. I am officially now a repeat offender here. This is my second time. Delighted to be back for an event which I think really helps to gauge the progress and indeed the challenges, perhaps one or two hurdles that's being made in decarbonising your sector, the maritime sector. I was reflecting, though, also on what Trevor Pereira said last year in his opening remarks, on 2 points. It's more than a gauge, it's a call to action. I think you all know that in this room, you're all part of that call to action, but it's also a call to action on a long-term basis, and Trevor referred right back to the Rio summit of 1992. This is a long journey, urgent as it is, and the reason I think that matters at the moment is that if you look at just the last 12 months, so much has happened. We have been buffeted around by geopolitics, but at the same time we've seen amazing strides forward in technology, the use of AI, energy efficiency opportunities, renewable fuels and the way in which they can be used. These are all great positives. We have the IMO's net zero framework right on the cusp now of being adopted, but not yet adopted. It's going to be a fascinating month next month as that moment arrives for the IMO. And then if you reflect just 12 months ago when we were here, the guy in the White House was a huge proponent of decarbonising, of a greener climate, putting hundreds of billions of dollars into renewable opportunities. And of course, much of the corporate world went that way too, raising its own targets and thresholds for proving its own green credentials. Things have changed somewhat. We have a different administration now which has decarbonisation pretty low on its priority list. We've seen a lot of companies therefore rowing back, taking the foot off their own pedal in terms of pushing for a greener standard. And that has brought into play, I think you'd all recognise this, a growing sense of what I saw in Le Monde as being called climate doomism again. That fear that we're not going to be able to do enough to look after this planet properly and there for ourselves, so indeed why bother? And that is a terrible message to be hearing, and I think it's incumbent on all of us, on all of you actually, to show where you're making progress, to show how things are improving as part of a message not just for your own industry and for your own bottom line, but also for a more general public perception that there are some extraordinary things being achieved within the maritime sector and indeed in other parts of industry. So I'm very much looking forward to hearing from an extremely high level of speaker here in the course of the day, and particularly in the course of this morning. Accelerating Sustainable Transportation, Innovation, Policy and Climate Change is the title. The session 1 is about net zero maritime transport, policy, investment and global roadmap, and we're going to run through these issues in the course of the morning. None of this comes together easily. Trevor Pereira will be the first to recognize that, and I think it's very important to also thank the very many sponsors who make this conference a possibility. I'd just like to run through them one by one. AD Ports Group, DP World, ADNOC Logistics and Services, Noatum Logistics, Safety Group, Lloyd's Register, Jome Engineering, NMDC Group, Sohar Port and Free Zone, Dry Docks World, International Registries, the Marshall Islands Registry, TT Cub, JM Baxi, Islamic P&I Club, ASCA Maritime, Bureau Veritas, Monjasa, Lenol, TMC Shipping, Al Safina Security, DNV. I mean, that is quite a list, which I think shows also the commitment to the program that's put on at this conference. So thanks to all our sponsors. And Trevor would in particular like to make a personal thanks to the group CEO at Abu Dhabi Port Group, Captain Mohammed Juma Al-Shamsi, for his ongoing support. So many thanks to all the sponsors. My next task actually is a fairly straightforward one, but we'll see how logistically how capable we are of achieving it, because I'm going to ask all those speakers who are presenting in the course of this first session 1 to come and join me up on this glorious stage where you have your nameplates. So, yeah, Eric, you'll take the lead. Thank you all. If you would all come up now, please, we can get you in place. Yeah, a round of applause to encourage them up onto their feet. So just to explain, we'll have a series of presentations which will follow our keynote speeches, addresses, which we'll hear in just a moment. We will then be taking a pause after those presentations, a pause for reflection, before returning to our speakers for a panel session to discuss some of the points they've brought up in their presentations, but also perhaps some of the bigger picture issues as well. So I think we have as many of the speakers that are with us at the moment in the room up on the platform. Gentlemen, thank you very much indeed for joining us. And at that juncture, it's time to start focusing on our keynote addresses. We have 3 keynotes for you from some of the most significant actors in your field, and it is a great delight for me, first of all, to ask Captain Saif Al-Meri, the CEO of Abu Dhabi Maritime and Chief Sustainability Officer of AD Ports Group, to join me on the stage. Thank you very much indeed.